Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk, where I'll be sharing my testimony on things that I had to endure and overcome from a young child until present. And you will see how God has turned around and have continuously elevating my life. This one is volume 5, part 1, and it will be a continuation of the sexual addiction in which I spoke about. That it's going to stem over a few volumes because these parts of my life, as I said, was buried very deep, and so I have to go into depths to show you how deep the sexual addiction had run. So as you go through these different volumes with me, you will see and uncover how indeed I had to go through them and then overcome them by the grace of God. So where we left off on volume 4, part 4, where I spoke on the fact that my mom came from the UK and she moved me from my dad because she realized that I was in deep depression at the time because of how my dad was starting to treat me. You know, he was not dealing with me the way how he used to deal with me. All of a sudden, it's just like he was punching me, boxing me, scolding me and beating me and scolding me for things that was unnecessary. And my mom saw that I was really depressed and decided that she wanted to move me. So she came now with a van to move my stuff. But the day before, she told my dad, and my dad said, yes, come. But then the next day, my dad slept on it, woke up and called her and said, no, she's not going anywhere. She's staying right here because she will be a child here. I was crying in my heart and crying out because I really did not want to stay there anymore. I was unhappy, as I stated in the last part of volume 4. My mom decided that she was not going to take no for an answer. She still came for me, and I ended up moving from there and went back to live with my guardian in Christiana, Jamaica. So that's how that scenario ended up. But before then, as my mom came, because of the whole commotion, my dad did not want to open the gate to let my mom in, you know, so there was like a big commotion outside. It strung people in, so there was lots of people coming to see what's going on. And mind you, my dad is a celebrity, so everyone is coming to look now, what's happening, what's all this commotion in his hometown at the time, what is this commotion, what's going on? Everybody knows my dad, you know what I mean? It was like, again, entertainment for them. So then they came and they were looking, they were like surprised. Like, anyways, my mom decided that she was not taking no for an answer. So she went to the police station, got the police, and then the police came to my dad's house and everything. And mind you, the police and everybody, they already know my dad. They know who my dad was. You know, that for them was like excitement for the police as well because of how they are in Jamaica. My dad did not appreciate the embarrassment. What he did, he just said to me, you know what, pack your stuff and go, pack your stuff and go. So I just ended up with no hesitation. I ran so quickly to go and pack my stuff. It was the quickest packing I've ever done in all of my life. I was so excited that he finally wanted to release me now. And so I was released. My stuff was put outside and everything, and then put in the van. And we moved. So remember in volume 2, I spoke of the fact that we would, just before we moved to the other location in Christiana with my guardian, we were first living in the community where I was being bullied by the girls where I was going to church with, and we were in competition with the church dresses. Okay, so I now moved from that community, and my guardian and my brother and my cousins were now living in a different location, now in the heart of Christiana. And you guys also remember in volume 1, I spoke about the guy that came from the US who was sexually molesting me at the age of 6, that was living in the household as I was before I moved to my dad. Yes, so he too moved to this new location in Christiana. And so you will see the continuation of things. So come along. So now remember, everyone still thinks that I am a virgin because, again, remember nothing was found out about me doing anything with anyone apart from me just being caught by grown men or me being on the phone with grown men. And then remember, my dad took me to the gynecologist and found out that I was a virgin even though I was not. But again, we already come to conclusion that God has always and continuously been helping me out throughout everything, right? So now remember, when I was living with my dad, I was heavily restricted. And so I was going through sexual withdrawal because I could not get any chance, any loophole, any freedom to do what I wanted to do, which it was good because again, it helped to suppress that desire, that sexual desire that was stemming up on the inside of me. So it was good. But then now, because I moved back to my guardian, it was like it's enacted now, because now I had that freedom. Remember, I will always act innocent in front of my families, so now they don't even have any inclination that anything was going on. They still thought I was a virgin. So right? Yes, so I was doing everything to ensure that I am maintaining their trust, that they can trust me with, going where I need to go and then come back in time. So what I would do, I would even be extra with everything that I was doing. So if I was to go somewhere, I would make sure come back like 5 minutes earlier than the time that I'm supposed to come back in, or 10 minutes early. I would always go to school and come back in on time. I would not delay. So I was being good for a good month after moving back with my guardian in the heart of Christiana, right? Just to keep them settled and afloat, you know what I mean? So yeah, so anyways, I met this guy. Like after 1 or 2 months, I met this guy, but he was a taxi driver, and everyone had this stigma around taxi men and all of that. But at the same time, he ticked all of my boxes, and he was like a guy that was full of swag. He had this respectable demeanor about him as well. He wasn't like the average taxi man. Like honestly, I would not even exaggerate it. He was not the average, and he was like going above and beyond for me. Like it was weird. But anyways, you will see as time progresses. So instantly, as he saw me, he liked me, and I liked him too, because again, we had this eye connection that was just unstoppable. So how I met this guy, I remember going into Christiana town, because though we live in the heart of Christiana, we had to go down a lane still to get to the house, but I had to walk up the lane to get into the town of Christiana, to get to wherever or whatever I needed to get to, probably the supermarket. So I remember going up into the town to go get some stuff for the house. I don't remember if it was for the house or it was for my hair, because I used to use styling gel in my hair, so I would always go get my little knickknacks and everything. Now my families were at ease because I'm giving them reasons to trust me now, right? So I was able to go up into the town by myself without anyone thinking anything, because at this time it would be like a few months, like about 1 or 2 months past now, where nothing was going on. Things were settling. They thought, okay, yes, Shay's now behaving herself, and no man is involved now. And of course, there was no man involved for real at that time, because I was just trying to keep myself settled. And again, living with my dad for almost a year, my sexual desire had been suppressed, which was good, as I mentioned. So yeah, when I met this taxi guy now, he said to me, come in my car, I want to talk to you. And I was like, okay. So I went into his car, and we literally drove off and went to some other area, and we had sex in his car. At this time, I was still 13 years old, and yeah, this was now the starting again of my sexual appetite being enacted. So we had sex in his car that same day of me meeting him. Alongside my sexual appetite activated again. Now my smart moves had to activate with it too, because remember, I had to now move very smartly with everything that I was doing, not to get caught. So again, as I got older, I started to learn the tactics of my families and learn how to dodge them for like long lengths of time before obviously things got found out, because again, God wanted me to slow down in each stages, as you guys will see as well as you come along. This guy would ensure that he sees me as much as possible, and I love that. The reason why I love that, because it was attention that I was not getting for so long, and at the end of the day, remember, I'm always getting attention from grown men. So it was this attention that I needed, that I didn't realize that I needed, because again, I was in depression living with my dad, and not getting the attention that I needed, that I was craving. I didn't realize how much I was craving the attention from grown men. And so the way how this man was acting towards me, it made me feel good. Remember, now I am in grade 8 and attending Knox College High. So because now my sexual appetite has been enacted, and because I also wanted to maintain my innocence to my family, I had to come up with a strategy, even though, to be honest, it wasn't even coming up with a strategy. I thought at the time that it was the right thing to do, and I got saved. Yes, so I got saved in church. So I found another church in Christiana, so at Brockery. So who comes from Christiana, they know that place in Christiana called Brockery. So I found another church, and I got saved in that church, and I was reading my Bible, everything. So I was so in tune with the things of God. But at the same time, I was now starting to get back heavily into sexual activities with this new man that I found, which is the taxi driver. Stay tuned for volume 5 part 2. Thank you.